Why there's a 19th century jungle still exists in the center of Saigon. In one of Asia's fastest growing cities, a green ecosystem planned more than 160 years ago continues to survive. With hundreds of ancient trees, rare animals, and a history few people know. This place is not just a zoo, it is a living archive of tropical nature and a forgotten experiment that have shaped the city itself. Today, join the Saigon Remix, past, present, future, as we explore the story of Saigon Botanical Garden. Many cities around the world have botanical gardens that have shaped urban development. Paris has Jardin des Plantes. Singapore has its botanical gardens, and Saigon has Thảo Cầm Viên. It is one of the 8 oldest botanical gardens in the world still existing and operating today. But unlike how we usually see it as a zoo, it was originally created as a colonial era botanical laboratory. In 1864, when Saigon still taking shape as a new regional capital in Southeast Asia and blend under the garden city philosophy. This garden was built so living specimens collected across Indochina could be brought here, blend for trials and study for how they adapt to tropical climate and urban conditions, before plant samples were sent to research institutes in Europe. Tree-lined streets like Norodom, now Lê Duẩn, or Chandler, now Nguyễn Huệ, may have begun with quite experiment inside this garden. Thảo Cầm Viên was not born for entertainment, but to find a way for a European-style city to take root in the tropics. Before it became a tourist destination, Thảo Cầm Viên was an ecological infrastructure that have shaped Saigon's face. Today, few Asian cities still keep a 19th century ecosystem right in the city center. While many green spaces have been replaced by concrete, Thảo Cầm Viên remains a green oasis in the heart of Saigon. With more than 700 old-growth trees, tropical rainforest plant communities, and solar canopies blooming amid modern streets. This is still a working ecosystem, not just a park. At present, Thảo Cầm Viên is home to over 1,000 animals across more than 100 species, along with rich diversity of plant life. Here, rare animals such as Indo-Chinese tiger, white Bengal tiger, clouded leopard, white rhino, yellow-cheeked gibbon, duck langur, and African hippo are cared for and conserved. That's why this place isn't just a zoo, it's a biodiversity conservation center, a living archive of tropical ecosystem. And the city never stopped growing. Its existence raises the question, why is it still here? And across more than 160 years of history, the answer has never been simple. Thảo Cầm Viên has not always been safe. From its founding by Admiral de la Grandier, through its expansion in the late 19th century and the early 20th centuries, to its occupation as a barracks from 1942 to 1954, many structures were damaged. Later, as the city expanded and roads moved closer to the garden edge, animals began to feel pressure of noise. There were rare incidents like animals escaping during storm winds, showing this ecosystem was never completely separate from the life outside. There were even a time when authorities considered relocating the entire garden to a large site in the suburbs to make the city more modern and better aligned with urban planning. But the questions wasn't only about moving animals. It was whether an ecosystem over a century old, with its trees, soil, and memories, really be moved? When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, with no visitor and no income, the garden was forced to close for many months. A century-old garden had to call for help just to survive. Within a short time, billions of Vietnam dong were donated. Save Thảo Cầm Viên became a way of support, not only to save a zoo, but to preserve a piece of the city's memory. And in the end, Thảo Cầm Viên stayed as a some things cannot be replaced. Today, Thảo Cầm Viên is more than a zoo. It is a place for biodiversity conservation and a part of the city's memory. For many people in Saigon, including those who now live far away, this place is tied to simple family memories. The first steps of a child holding a parent's hand when entering the natural world. A quiet moment of young love under the shade of tall trees. Across generations, the garden has become part of the city's memory. It is not just a destination, but part of its identity. A place that has survived war, migration, urbanization, and even the pandemic. Not every city keeps places like this, and not every memory can exist in a physical space like Thảo Cầm Viên. Today, the garden once again welcomes visitors, with the laughter of the children returning beneath its shade trees. And perhaps one day, we will celebrate the 200th anniversary of Thảo Cầm Viên, a green witness of old Saigon still breathing within the city today. In a growing megacity, this place is not just a relic of the past, but a living ecosystem. A reminder that to understand a city, we sometimes need to look at what it has chosen to keep. Saigon Remix, past, present, future. Some memories are not kept in books. They are still growing around us.